Welcome to Session 2. Tailor your presentation to meet the needs of the audience. This is the first step out of the 4 steps to success in public speaking. This is what our lectures are going to be based on through the rest of the semester here, and how we're going to put our presentations together. Last time on Session 1, I asked you to come up with 4 to 6 different topics that you could possibly speak about during the semester. We want to be planning ahead, we want to be thinking ahead, because our research will possibly come across our path. And I also asked you to choose one topic that you can use for your pick a topic speech. Remember, it can be on anything you want. You can make up the material, have some fun with it. You can take a real topic, make up your material once again, be like the president, and just come up with ideas and just speak about them, whether they're true or not, right? So come up with your ideas for your presentation, and we're going to start on that stuff here today. The things that we're going to talk about under Tailor Your Presentation to meet the needs of the audience, we're going to talk real quick about analyzing your audience, and we're going to talk about how it pertains to us here in the classroom. Anything dealing with the workplace, refer to lecture notes and also book material and other reading material that is at your disposal. We're going to also briefly talk about analyzing your situation for, once again, here in our class setting in this virtual room that we have here, and see how things go for the semester. The most important thing that we're going to talk about today is going to be narrowing your topic. We need to narrow that material down so we know exactly what is that message that we want to get across to the audience. What we're going to find out to start the presentation, we have to come up with the end. What are they going to leave with? That's how we learn how to write a presentation. So let's get into it. Our first thing that we're going to talk about real quick here is analyzing the audience. For our situation here, look at the demographics that we have here for the classroom is what we want to look at possibly. A quick example, what someone did, she was doing a presentation, and this is a long time ago. In the early years of craft brewing, Arbor Brewing came out. And it was probably about 5-6 years after that company's been around. There was a person that was in the class. She was a manager at the place, and she did a presentation on Arbor Brewing. Well, it was an afternoon class, and when she delivered the presentation, I said, "Therese, why did you focus on the food so heavily and not the craft beer?" She said, "Oh, the average age in this class is below 21, but they still can come in and have a nice lunch or a dinner with us and get a student discount." She analyzed the audience. Another person did a real quick job of analyzing the audience. He was wanting to do something on advanced finances. And then he started to think about it when he was at home, and he said, all right, if I go into this advanced financing, not many of them are going to really be interested in this material. They're trying to figure out how to pay for next semester. So he said, hey, that's still financial. You have to save money. So he came up with 3 or 4 different ideas on how we can save money every single day and put that money aside to pay next semester, cash on the barrel, all paid up, no debt at all. We had some pretty good ideas coming out of that presentation. So that is what your job is going to be, is consider the audience that we have here in the classroom, the age group, gender mix, possibly different religions, if you're going to do something religious and so forth. Consider the audience, but also always remember, choose the topic you really like, and you'll have nothing to worry about. The next thing that we're going to talk about is psychological makeup, also a part of analyzing the audience. You need to find out what are their attitudes, interests, other opinions that they might have that can play a factor here in this. Anytime you want to survey this class to find out their attitudes on a topic or on a couple of different topics, quick example, someone came into the classroom, said, can I ask a couple of questions, just a show of hands? Sure. And what he was trying to find out, who knew the least about a particular topic. He wanted to choose a topic that not many people knew about. So he asked he said, all right, how many people know this topic? Raise of hands, next topic, and a third topic. Okay, he chose the topic that had the least amount of hand show. That way he was sharing something with us for the informative speech that people didn't know a whole lot about. So, interesting way of using a little bit of psychological makeup. Anytime you want to survey this class, well, while we're in the virtual room, what you're probably going to have to do is email your questions to me, or you could always ask it during our little chit-chat time on our Zoom network that we'll be doing. and we'll get your information for you. So whether you ask the question on Zoom and everybody gives you a response, or you send it to me and I'll ask everybody to send me the response and I'll send it back to you. We'll get it done. We'll be able to find out the things that you need to know about your audience, whether, knowledge base, how knowledgeable they are on something, what's their interest in something, what is their attitude towards something. All right. The other thing you have to consider as a public speaker is the situation that you are confronted with. There's a variety of things we need to know, such as, how many people are going to be in the audience. When we're going to, in a live audience, we got to have the right amount of handouts to pass out to people. If you have 50 people there and you only have 40 handouts, it doesn't look too good. We're not well prepared. So we got to make sure that we know this head count ahead of time, and then you usually plan for 10%, 15% above whatever it is. So if there's supposed to be 50 people there, consider 10% more, print up 55 copies, have them ready, 60 copies. That way, if anybody extra comes in, you have enough to pass out. Looks like you are prepared. Why are they having this? Why is this discussion happening? For our classroom, we know why. We're here for a grade. We're here to get the 3 credit hours and move along, so we can continue on with our college education. That's what we're here for. Where is it going to be? We know where it's going to be. It's on our course outline. When it's going to be, where it's going to be where? Right here, Zoom, or you're going to be sending it to me on Blackboard. However we're getting this stuff across, we'll be figuring it out as we go along during the semester. And we'll talk more about that as we move through this semester here. So right now, you don't have to worry too much about how many people, because you're not going to be passing things out. You're not going to be making some marijuana. You're not going to be making some brownies for us to pass out for all of us to enjoy, because we're here in a virtual classroom. No, you're not allowed to pass out marijuana brownies, by the way. So these are things that you'll have to consider. We will discover as we go through this virtual learning process anything that might pertain to this. And if you come up with any ideas, please feel free to share them with me, just in case I haven't thought of them yet. And that way we can get them documented and we can improve this class if we ever have to do it this way again. So let's get on to the most important part here, and that is narrowing your topic. Narrowing your topic, this is the part that's going to go on the top of your outline. Every single outline you hand in, you're going to have this written up there. Above this is going to be your name. Then you're going to write general purpose, goal statement, message. And then you're going to write these 3 things out. And this is going to get our focus on what exactly we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be doing research on. And so we know the very last thing we're going to say to the audience. And that's going to be our message. So the 3 things, as I already just shared with you, we're going to start off with our general purpose. Our general purpose is just to get our basic focus going. And it's only 2 words. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. If you're going to be doing informative speech, you choose to inform. If you're going to do a persuasive speech, you just write the words to persuade. Unfortunately, a lot of people think this is too basic, too simple. I don't need to do it. I'm smarter than this. Sure you are. Just like those managers that are out there that they know they don't have to think this way. Yeah, they probably went to Michigan State and they didn't listen to their instructor on public speaking. So there they are as a manager, and they're going, I got to go talk to the team about procedure changes. And so they go talk to the team about procedure changes, and they're trying to inform them about the new procedure changes that they need to follow. Ooh, we said a key word there. They need to follow. If they need to follow it, that means I need to do a persuasive speech. If you were smart, you would have sat back for 2 seconds and gone, now, am I informing them to follow these procedures, or am I persuading them to follow these procedures? I'm going to persuade them to follow these procedures. It's going to be an entirely different speech. You're going to start it off differently. You're going to end it differently. You're going to ask them for their help in following these procedures, so we don't have to be called back to the factory line or whatever the situation is, right? So this is very important to start with. It also helps us with, as soon as we say to persuade, I know when I go to do my research, the information I'm looking for is going to be needing to be persuasive in nature. That's going to bring us to the next part, and that is our goal statement. Our goal statement, we're going to take the infinitive to inform, we're going to drop it down into the goal statement to inform with a reference to the audience, to inform my audience, and then fill in your topic. This is where we truly narrow the topic down. Now, we're only doing 4-minute speeches, 5-minute speeches, 6-minute speeches, right? The last speech is going to be 55 minutes. Okay, 7 minutes, somewhere in that ballpark. So anyways, this is where we narrow it down, because we need to be thinking, I got to get this material done in a 5-minute speech. I need to get this material done in the work world in a 15-minute time span. I got an hour. I have 8 hours worth of information, but they only want me to deliver it in 4 hours. So I need to narrow this down. And this is the part right here, analyzing or coming up with your goal statement. So our goal statement, we have to inform my audience, and then you fill in the blank. So let's start that. To inform my audience about cancer. Now that's a little bit too broad here. We're going to be here for 6 months listening to this presentation, because to inform the audience about cancer, you have to talk about every type of cancer, all the ways of getting the cancer, all the ways of treatments of cancer, all the way of aftercare of the cancer, how many people die from this cancer, and every single type of cancer, and on and on and on. We will be here for 6 months. It's only a 5-minute speech. So let's just say I sit back for a second and I go, all right, you know what? My friend Jerry, he passed from leukemia. I want to do a presentation on leukemia. So you could choose a topic this semester that you're interested in, but you don't know a lot about. So let's do that, because you know what? On the topics you know a lot about, it's really easy to do. You come up, I'm going to inform this. I'm going to inform my audience about the basics of sailboating, message, understand the basics of sailboating to make it enjoyable. How difficult was that? So let's come up with this. I don't know anything about leukemia. So I write to inform my audience about leukemia. Since I don't know a lot about it, I might want to hit a little Google search right now. I do a quick little Google search and I look into it and I go, okay, there's some information here on adulthood leukemia and there's information on childhood leukemia. Wait a second, Jerry was an adult. All right, let me look into adulthood leukemia. As I start reading a couple articles on adulthood leukemia, I'm reading about different warning signs. I reflect back to my time talking with my friend Jerry, and Jerry talked about warning signs that he had that he ignored, and then later found out that he had late stage leukemia. And so, all right, to inform my audience about the warning signs of adulthood leukemia. Now I know what I'm talking about. Then I look through a couple of websites. I look at Mayo Clinic. I look at New England Journal of Medicine. I find 3 warning signs, 4 warning signs of adulthood leukemia. I even have ones that Jerry talked about. There it is. Now I can write the next thing that we'll come up with, and that's going to be our goal statement. To finish, our next thing is going to be our message statement. Our goal statement here is dealing with the persuasive is just as easy too. To persuade my audience to drink Coca-Cola. Message, drink Coca-Cola. To persuade my audience to fill in the blank. Go to Cedar Point. To persuade my audience to stay at a particular resort. To persuade my audience to not go someplace, right? All those things. You know, persuade the audience, don't go to Chicago. There you go. Come up with whatever it is that you want to talk about for your presentation, and we need to narrow it down. After our goal statement, that's when we come up with, now that I'm thinking about it, our message statement. So the message statement is what we are aiming for here, and this is the thing that the audience is going to leave with. The message is going to be one thing, not 3 things, not 4 things. The message does not include your main points in it. It's not a message. Those people that teach you to write those thesis statements, those English instructors, oh God, what a terrible subject. You got to write on paper and all that stuff, and you got to be right. When we speak, we can make mistakes, just like I have. There we go. So, with our message statement, you don't have any main points in there, because then all we have is a collection of main points. Anytime I see a thesis statement written on an English paper, a speech paper, anything like that, I can usually look at it 90% of the time. It's like betting on the Lions to lose. You're going to win. And so, yeah, what's going to happen is you're going to look at that thesis statement with those main points in it. You subtract those 3 main points out. You subtract those 4 main points out. You're left usually with no thesis. That can't be a thesis. A thesis is one thing. After I read an essay, thank God we don't ever have to write an essay for this class, but after I read an essay, there's one thing I should know. And from that one thing I know, it helps me to recall the main points, which I don't know yet. Not until I come up with my message. And so for the leukemia, I came up with the 4 warning signs of adulthood leukemia. There's my message. Now I go and I find those 3 warning signs, those 4 warning signs. And in this case, I did work a little backwards. I had to go do a little research first. I came up with the idea of, hey, there's the 4 warning signs Jerry talked about. Let me share with the audience 4 warning signs of adulthood leukemia. There we go. I'm going to have 5 main points. I'm going to introduce adulthood leukemia, and then I'm going to cover each one of those main points on the warning signs, right? So 4 warning signs and the first main point about adulthood leukemia. I'm all set. I'm ready to put the body together, which is session 3's material. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here and start thinking about main points yet. Let's stay focused. So let's wrap this thing up here for the class for session 2. There will be a continuation of session 2B coming up, which I'm going to talk narrowing your topic, general purpose goal message, dealing with your narrowing of the topic material. It's also in writing, but I'm going to give you a brief little video explanation of what I'm looking for and what you're going to send in today for your checkpoints. The checkpoints today that you've selected your topic for your pick a topic speech. You narrow it down, general purpose, goal, message, and don't forget, for the general purpose, to inform or persuade is your choice for this pick a topic speech that's going to be coming up on session 6. You get to choose. So, and remember, you can make up the material, you can make up the topic. Someone did a presentation on aliens abducting whales presentation, eating children presentation. Okay, kids could be good for something, I guess. Whatever you want to talk about. Most people choose real topics. Some people choose real topics and make up the material. I even got spoofed a few times. Someone's up there, they're talking about something real, and I'm listening going, that's not true. And then I went, wait a second, this is the pick a topic speech. They can make up whatever they want. So, and you can make up your own research, right? You can be your own source if you want. And if you have a lousy opinion, your friends don't ever listen to you, choose that for your pick a topic speech, because we'll listen to you and you'll get a great grade for it. So thank you for being here for session 2. We'll have session 2B coming up after this. So look on down here on the blog, and it'll be a quick explanation of narrowing the topic for your pick a topic speech, what I'm looking for, what I'm going to grade, and I'll get it back to you so you can start on session 3 material, putting the main points together, which is next week's material. Have a great week.